Hey guys, this is Conrad Layn here. Once again, there's no script. Just here on a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. I'm actually in the North Hollywood area. I'm looking at real estate today, and I'm going to tie in this real nicely on how real estate is similar to having a Turo portfolio. So let me jump right into it. So as you know, insurance licensed, and I'm also real estate licensed. So I have a very unique perspective, and I read quite a bit of insurance journal and a lot of different Jason Hartman, different articles, etc. I'm going to leave a lot of links below. But what's going on is I just want to tie this on in. This is actually a great way if you're thinking about getting into even the real estate investing. I see that all online these days, and it seems like a lot of people are talking about real estate. Definitely a great way to earn income, but it's not the only way, but it's a great way. And I am real estate licensed, so I can say that it's a beautiful way to earn income. But Turo is also kind of like that as well. There's so many similarities. Of course, it's not exactly the same, but so many similarities. Let me jump right into it. So, if you're just starting off into Turo, this is a great opportunity for someone who is real estate, who's already a real estate investor, and someone who is pretty much wanting to get into real estate investing, because you already have the mental fortitude and the ability to actually be able to simply start investing in Turo, and real estate pretty much the same thing. So for anyone that's a real estate investor, they know that there's commercial property and residential property. Let me flip this around, show you what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna compare this into Turo. So hold on, it's gonna all make sense. That, my friend, is a beautiful piece of commercial property, and that's measured, as I talked in two other videos, GRM, the gross rent multiplier. So essentially, when I'm with a client or we're looking for properties to invest in, we'll look at a property like this, and we'll figure, okay, how many units does this building have? Does it have 18 units? Okay, great. And then we'll multiply the rent, annualize it by the property, wherever this piece of property is worth. This is what you call a commercial apartment building in a residential area. The zoning is commercial though. Anything, and just so you guys know, real estate agents know what I'm talking about, investors know what I'm talking about, but anyone who doesn't know the vernacular, um, real estate commercial property is anything that's 5 units and above, and anything that's 4 units or under is residential. But that's commercial. So the way you tie this into Turo, and it's all gonna make sense. Sorry, this is way more detailed, so it's gonna take a little more time. So I apologize. I'm gonna do as concise as possible. But anyways, so the way this becomes is, when you actually make an investment, you have to judge the value of the property divided by the analyzed rent. That's what you're supposed to do. As I mentioned in the other two videos I already posted, and I'm uploading this one as well. When you look at a car and everything, you do your best to figure out what's the value of the vehicle. The same thing that we do in real estate. We use residential appraisals. The residential appraisals for residential properties typically will judge a property based on what the average rate of the properties are in that area. So if all the properties are worth, say, 1 million, for example, and your properties there too, more than likely will probably be worth 1 million. It's based on the properties around your area for that appraisal. That's for residential. For the commercial side, it's more about the GRM, the gross rent multiplier. That's what it's about. So it's actually about the gross rent multiplier. How many rents per annually do you make divided by the property of the commercial? That's the same way and same theory you need to use in concept when you apply it to Turo. Real estate investors, even Airbnb hosts, if you want to become an Airbnb host, this is a great opportunity for you to get into Turo. Do your research though, and if you're a real estate investor, do your research. It really can benefit you in so many different ways, because it's another way. I'm not your CPA, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your insurance guy. I'm just a guy on YouTube just wanting to give whatever I know. This is my opinions. Check with your own tax person, your own CPA. But this is a great way also to offset taxes. Talk to your CPA first before you do this, because essentially, like in real estate, there's something called a 1031 exchange, which is based off IRS section code 1031. I'm not gonna get deep into that, but that's just a way to offset to keep the capital gains. Because when you sell real estate, same as when you sell stocks, you lose quite a bit of the capital gains, unfortunately, especially here in California. That's another video. But anyways, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm always wanting to learn, but I do know that, and I'm very good at what I do. Like I said, I've been real estate licensed and insurance licensed for over 8 years. Heavy in insurance mitigation, asset management, and reduction of risk. But anyways, so for example, let me flip it. This is what you would call a residential single family home. So the background, there's other properties like this commercial apartment complex, another beautiful commercial complex. Homes that are duplexes, that have 2 homes, or triplexes or fourplexes, those are residential zoning. Anything over that is commercial. I'm talking this way, I'm keeping it very, very basic, but concise, because I want to be able to talk to people that have no knowledge of real estate and that maybe are trying to get into real estate and Turo, and people who are heavy veterans that can understand my vernacular as well. But in regards to that, that's basically what this is. So Turo, when you're an investor, if you're serious about becoming an investor of real estate or Airbnb host, you start to build your real estate portfolio. Very similar. A lot of investors use loans to actually acquire properties. They usually have good credit, or they have enough capital to put down as collateral. And that's essentially what a lot of people do with cars. A lot of people have car loans. So essentially it's so similar. You get loans to to finance a vehicle. You get loans to finance a home, a mortgage. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's very, very similar. There are differences. So what I'm saying is, I think this is a great way if you want to become a real estate investor. Practice in Turo first. Get used to dealing with tenants, what we call in real estate, tenants, right? You get to deal with your tenants, your Turo guests. You get practice. You build mental fortitude, strategy, execution. It's all about the strategy. It's just a great way to practice without going head over heels, or if you're still trying to build your credit. It's a great way for newbies to really become educated in investing. And if you want to start gaining confidence in becoming a real estate investor or someone in real estate. Same for Airbnb hosts, very, very similar. So I would highly recommend Turo. Now for real estate investors, I think it's a great way for you guys, because as you know and everything, you guys base the property off GRM. That's one of the very basic ways to judge properties. That's not the only way, but one, just keeping it basic here. Don't want to go too head over heels here. But the thing is, Turo is very similar in that fact. You're building a vehicle portfolio. I have over 20 vehicles. I'm going to be adding more vehicles on. And so essentially what's going to happen is, it's going to get to a point where if I need to, it becomes my assets. They are my assets. So if you have a skilled tax person, talk to your tax person. As again, I'm not your tax person. I'm not your CPA. I don't know your situation and your finances. Talk to your person. I'm not giving you that advice. I'm just giving you my perspectives and insights that have worked for me. For example, there's 501c3s, nonprofits, that allow you to actually essentially donate your vehicle. How you use that? You can actually have it maybe a write-off. It could be used as some type of tax strategy. I don't know. I'm not your tax person. I'm saying that's one strategy out of the many strategies that there are when you invest in vehicles. This, at the end of the day, they are depreciating assets that you're turning a liability into an asset. And that's the fact. So you can use that so heavily in strategy execution beyond a 1031 exchange. 1031 exchange is phenomenal at this point because you're able to keep your capital gains. And I don't have to go in detail of that. It's very valuable. But there's so many other strategies, and Turo is another strategy. And just from an insider, from being insurance licensed for over 8 years, you can check my background as well. I am insurance licensed over 8 years. I am real estate licensed as well. This is the thing though, as you might know, insurance companies, banking institutions as well, and insurance companies and life insurance companies, which are considered financial industry as well, invest heavily in commercial buildings and office buildings and properties and lots. They get the premiums from on the insurance side, and it's used to make investments. There's so much great leverage. These companies, they know what they're doing, and they're investing heavily in commercial real estate. The next step is this, what people aren't, give it 5 to 10 years. You'll see what I'm saying is going to be true. The prediction is this, and from me researching, understanding, 5 to 10 years, they're going to be investing heavily in the Turo stock and Turo IPO. They believe in that, actually. You're going to see this. Don't go invest in Turo or anything because I'm telling you to. I didn't tell you to. I'm just saying that from an insider, from being insurance licensed. it's looking good, where they're going to get a lot of investments in regards to from insurance companies. I am insurance licensed, into Turo, because they see the future of it. It's going to be a heavy industry. So my thing is, get in now, get the practice, see if you like Turo. If you don't, great, but it will give you great. It's like putting on training wheels. You'll get experience to start investing in real estate. So please, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Just going on my daily walk. I walk every day, typically for usually an hour or two, just looking at different properties for clients or people that actually want to purchase policies. Sorry, I have an insurance and real estate background in mind, so I sometimes switch up the words. My apologies. So okay, when I look at properties for clients, they are looking for properties that they can usually make a profit, of course, and usually maybe a 8 to 10 year time frame, sometimes less, but usually that's about the time frame. Sometimes 14 to 15 years. And the good thing about Turo, if you execute it correctly, you can make a profit a lot faster. My GRM and for my vehicles is 1 to 2, max maybe 3. And if you have a lease, if you're one of those people you like leases, I have nothing against that. That's an excellent strategy too if you use it correctly. The lease strategy, you always have to have a GRM of 1 or 2 as well. The same thing doesn't change. Just because you don't own the asset, I own my assets at this point. Maybe one day I'll lease it, maybe I won't, but right now I own all my assets. But for those that want to lease a vehicle, same thing applies. What you do is whatever your payment is, if it's just, for sake of example, if it's $200, right? $200. So if it's $200, multiply it times 12, that's $2,400. Okay. Your goal is to make 2 to 3 times that. So at least 48 over to $7,200 per year you should be making on the lease at all times. If you make way more than that, kudos to you, hats off, awesome. But that's what you have to do. Anything under, in my opinion, 2 to 3, 4 at least is terrible. So you don't own the asset. Now, that's my personal opinion. Now, if you own the asset, you should still try to make 2 to 3 times. But if you make 1 time, at least you own the asset. Because at that point, yes, it's a depreciating asset, but remember, you're accruing and compounding profit and income from this asset. And then if it gets destroyed in an accident, for example, you're covered by insurance anyway. You'll get paid out anyway. And if you're underwater, you have gap insurance, as I mentioned in the other videos, you're fine. You'll get your full money back. There's no real, what's the problem here? So the point is, look, I don't care which way you get into Turo, just do your research. Don't just listen to me. Do your own research. I'm gonna leave some links below. This is Conrad Layn here. The main thing, like I said, just GRM. Real estate people, I think you should really pay attention to this. I have a unique perspective, just in regards because I'm insurance licensed. That's actually what I worked in first prior to traveling into the beautiful real estate side. And I don't claim to be a guru or nothing like that. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You can check my licenses. They're in the state of California. You can check it. The point is this, like I said before, GRM is more important than the car. Who cares about the car? GRM. So people who are investor minded or already real estate investors already, or Airbnb hosts, judge it based on GRM. You judge on GRM. Can you make a profit of 2 to 3 times per year in Turo? You're doing well, in my opinion. You're good. Try to work more than that. That's the goal. And real estate's very similar. So this is a great way to practice if you're a newbie who just wants to get into real estate. Do this first. Less capital. I personally think it's easier than real estate, but that's just my opinion, not fact. Just my opinion. I think it has easier access. I think it's a great way to practice. So people, have a beautiful day. I'm gonna leave links below. This is Conrad Layn's way of advising you guys. I got to go start looking at some properties for my clients. And besides that, you guys have a good day. Many blessings. Bye. Peace.